We are now just below the surface of the water, which is around 57 degrees Fahrenheit. If you were swimming in this water, you would need to wear a wetsuit to stay warm. Keep an eye out around you for fronds of giant kelp as we approach the forest habitat. As you begin to see the kelp a bit more closely, think about what kelp needs to survive. Giant kelp is not a plant, but an alga like all seaweeds. You can think of algae as being the ancient ancestors of plants. What are some things it might need to stay alive and thrive in the ocean? How does it get these things it needs for survival? Have you noticed the golden glowing color of the kelp? The kelp contains the green pigment chlorophyll, like plants, which it uses for photosynthesis. However, the golden brown color comes from another pigment in the kelp, called fucoxanthin. This pigment helps the kelp to capture the dimmer, bluer light, which is found deeper below the ocean's surface. When you get the chance, look toward the bottom of the kelp fronds. Can you see the ocean bottom where they're growing from? Or does the light fade away? Kelp begins its life as a spore, which attaches to a rock on the ocean floor. From that spore, a holdfast grows. The holdfast is like an anchor, similar to a ball of roots. Instead of absorbing nutrients like the roots of plants, the holdfast of the kelp simply anchors it onto a rock so that it doesn't drift away. The part of the kelp which is like a stem or a trunk is called the stipe. The stipe is very long, sometimes reaching hundreds of feet in the giant kelp. It is trying to reach the upper part of the water column near the surface, where there is plenty of sunlight for photosynthesis. As you drift by, you may notice some leaf-like structures and some balloon-like structures in the body of the kelp. What do you suppose these two types of structures are for? The leaf-like structures you are seeing are called blades. They are broad and have corrugations or wrinkles to increase their surface area. They are trying to capture as much sunlight as possible. This helps the giant kelp grow up to 1 or 2 feet per day under the best growing conditions, which usually occur at the peak of summertime in June. The little balloon-shaped structures you're seeing are called pneumatocysts. These work in a similar way to the balloons you're already familiar with. They are filled with gas, and they help the kelp blades float toward the surface to catch the sunlight. Photosynthesis uses the energy from sunlight, but the key ingredients for the process are carbon dioxide and water. These ingredients are combined to produce sugars or starches, and the byproduct of photosynthesis is oxygen. As you drift through the kelp canopy, take a few slow, deep breaths. Where does the oxygen you are breathing come from? Earth's oxygen atmosphere exists thanks to the process of photosynthesis. The largest source of oxygen on our planet is not actually the plants on land. It is the marine algae or seaweeds, photosynthesizing in our world ocean. The vast majority of these photosynthesizing algae are microscopic and drift as plankton in the near-shore waters. Without these tiny microscopic algae, animals like ourselves would never have been able to evolve to live on land and breathe the Earth's atmosphere. Kelp forests contribute to the world's oxygen supply. Can you think of some other ways kelp forest habitats might help other organisms survive and thrive? We won't be diving to the bottom of the kelp forest today, but I hope you'll come back to join us for a future program when we explore deeper down inside the kelp forest habitat. What do you think we might find there? Thanks for joining us here in the state parks. We'll see you again soon. You may remove your headset now.